Hello everyone, this is the Southern Hellenist. I'm back with another video. So after finally figuring out which side of my nightgown was the front, this thing does not have a tag on it, I'm back with another video. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about something that I had never thought about in all my years of practicing Hellenism or practicing any kind of pagan religion. So in Hellenism, we give offerings to the gods. We pour out wine or we pour out oil. We give food, things like that. And we give as an offering to the gods, to the Theo. And we sort of, like, we give things like cakes and candies and, whatever our breakfast was. Like, the great thing about my Hestia shrine is it's in the kitchen where I do most of my baking and cooking and all that jazz. And I give a portion of what I'm eating to Hestia, and as I said, the great thing about it is I can transfer that portion immediately from my bowl or from my plate to her shrine, and I don't have to cross the hallway to get to my bedroom to be able to do that, which is great. I love that. I love the idea of having that ability to do that. So the question that just kind of popped in my head yesterday while I was spending 2 more hours over my time, which I didn't mind doing. Everybody was grateful for it, and I was really happy to be able to, extend that out. Do the gods ever get fat on our offerings? We have a lot of people that practice Hellenism, or they venerate, or they, work with the gods as, say, you generalize Wiccans. And I've seen Wiccans give food offerings to the gods. It was just something they were like, this looks like something that, it's appropriate to do, and so we're going to do it. And I've seen some large offerings, and these are Wiccans that are doing it. So, do they get fat on our offerings? Do they get fat on our cakes and cookies and processed foods and food that I'm pretty sure would give anyone type 2 diabetes? But that really is an interesting question to ask. Do the gods get fat on our food? Is there a fat Hera waddling around or walking around Mount Olympus? Is there an Athena testing her blood sugar? It's funny to ask that question, because the gods are beyond our understanding, and this is why they took on these physical forms in the myths. So you have to ask yourself, you kind of can't, or at least I could not stop thinking about that. It was like, do they get fat? People, they give weird offerings to the gods. They do. Like today, I was on my break, and because I was really, really hungry. And I hadn't eaten since like 10 o'clock or like 10:15 in the morning, and it was like 4 going on 4:30 in the afternoon. I was just hungry, and I went around and I grabbed some tinfoil because I didn't have a Ziploc bag with me, and I cut my burger in half because it's a pretty big burger. And without even realizing I had done it, I took a bite out of it without giving that portion to Hestia. And the moment that it entered my mouth, I was like, shit. Shit. I did not give her a portion. And I felt so bad about it. I felt like, oh no. So I gave her, so I kept some fries aside. And it wasn't the first portion of my meal, it was the second. But I still gave it to her because I did set aside it for her. And so I did save the last bite for Agathos Daemon. Speaking of Agathos Daemon, I gotta make a new Agathos Daemon. I know a lot of you who's been following my channel for the last 2 years knows that I made a breakable Agathos Daemon. So I'm going to be actually making an Agathos Daemon tomorrow. Well, yeah, tomorrow. Because I'm off for the next 3 days. So I'm making an Agathos Daemon tomorrow, and he's actually going to go on my shrine to Hestia, because they are very much connected to, like, the household and protection of the household and all that type of stuff. So I'm going to do that, and I'm really looking forward to sculpting him again and everything. Another thing, as soon as the Etsy shops on my phone decide they're going to work, I am going to go and I'm going to get, in all honesty, I was thinking now, never mind. I am going to actually go to, it's going to be next week I'm going to do it. So I'm going to hold off on making it, or like writing on it until like the day before the new moon. But I want to go back to having a jar, and I'm going to stick it in the cupboard and everything. And so there's going to be a gross thing waiting on Steven every time he opens up the cabinet. Like, really, Michelle? You really have to put this in here? Yes, I have to, Steven. Because I'm not putting it on my shrine to Hestia. That Hestia shrine is simple as possible could be. But, I personally think the gods understand that we're not perfect and that we sometimes do things not correctly. They're a lot more I think they're a lot more forgiving than their Roman counterparts. But back to the question: do the gods get fat on our offerings? I mean, there are organizations and temples that have been founded in the United States for the purpose of venerating and honoring not just the Hellenic gods, but you see like the Kemetic gods. And the same question I definitely feel like you could pose to them was, do the gods get fat on your offerings? And I really think the answer is no, they don't, because they're beyond human frailties and human illnesses. But I just thought that was a really interesting question to ask, is do they get fat on our offerings? So I just want to put it out there, and if you guys have a comment, let me know. I would definitely appreciate it. But yeah, so that is the end of my really odd question about, do the gods get fat on our offerings? I definitely want to add, I don't believe they get drunk on our wine. They don't. Yeah, I'm going to do a video on why Dionysos is not the god of hard liquor. I know somebody did a video like that, but I kind of want to put my 2 cents into it, because I think that people that look at like what Dionysos' area was like, he had a lot of alcohol involved in his worship. They kind of mistakenly think that he's also the god of hard liquor. So I kind of want to do a video on that. So I will see you guys around. Bye.